Anyway, AI. I had an interesting conversation with someone the other day about AI, and it was, well, not say the brand, but a brand manager, and they got this company policy of no AI, not allowed to use it. Few reasons. They didn't want to use it for sort of putting together clothing blends and technical fabrics because they didn't want AI to have that knowledge and for other people to be able to access it. Because I guess if we're talking AI as in ChatGPT, that's pretty much it does. It learns off the internet, doesn't it? And it spits
Does
out
it learn off
information.
input as well then?
I think it
I
does.
guess it learns
I believe
off
it
literally everything.
So they didn't want that, and then they also didn't want to use it because it just takes away that personal touch. And I think, and that's kind of I do use it. I'll be honest. AI, ChatGPT especially, use it a little bit for writing show descriptions, spell checking, all that sort of stuff. And I'm slightly concerned about creativity just sort of dwindling, and you're not using your own brain. You just like become this person who can type the best into this thing. That's worrying.
Yeah, totally. I mean, maybe it's evolution. Someone might argue.
That.
I find it,
and I agree in some respect,
deeply not engaging AI content. I find like the written form of it. I find is like as soon as I look at it, I feel as though, well, I don't know if I know, but I feel like this is fucking boring. Like,
soulless. There is something. It uses a lot of similar words.
I don't even know if stuff is AI, but like,
sort of pick it up and be like, I'd never say that. The weird thing is, though, I guess the more you use it, let's say we use it for the ride companion, it picks up the way that you might talk, and it'll mimic certain show descriptions. Let's just say, for example, or episode titles and stuff like that. So it does become almost an extension of you, which is worrying. But I don't know, man. I don't really know. I am on the fence with it.
Well, it's just getting
better. But if you'd have asked me a few
weeks
ago, I'd be like, not all in, but I'd be like, yeah, I mean, it's helping me so much. But at the same time, it's like, does it take away that personal feel, especially with an email? You know, actually, in between Christmas and New Year, in the Gooch period, I did do like a day or two of work, and I sent an email with a friend CC'd, and he messaged me back. He's like, "Oh, you can tell you're back. That email was amazing," and I'm like, it wasn't all ChatGPT, but I got it to read through all of my the email thread, and put together a response. And then I
didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, I changed it. You know, I made it a little bit more personal, a bit more me.
Put some spelling mistakes in there.
Spelling mistakes in, different fonts all over the place. But yeah, he was like, "Wow, that was a really good email," and I'm like, "Oh, it feels like cheating." Little bit feels like cheating. Little bit does feel. Well, it does feel like. cheating.
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. You know what? Also, interesting, because I know you brought it up for the like video stuff. So there's one you can use. Is it called Opus maybe or something like that? I'm not sure if people have heard of it before, but it's called Opus. And you basically, let's say you get a YouTube link and you put it into this technology, this AI thing, and it will then spit out the best clips from that episode that it thinks will go like most viral and stuff like that. And yeah, that's cool, but they're always like a bit off or like, and those when you use it for auto cutting, it's like, I've literally seen one this morning that someone sent me to okay for something, and you're like, it's just a bit off.
Captions often misspelt.
Yeah,
so it sounds like you're saying something, and
yeah.
And then as soon as there's like one misspelling, you're like, it doesn't understand the whole point of this whole clip.
No. Interesting. I mean, it'll get better, and it will save a lot of time, but at the same time, it's like creativity is so important, and I think as creative people in this room, I think we can all agree that a lot of it is that it's your physical input. It's sitting down, it's finding the stuff, it's working out, okay, I like that clip or I don't like that clip, not just letting some AI thing figure it out.
I agree, Davey, but that sounds slow, man.
It does.
That is slow. The problem. What, you have to sit and think about something.
That's
you
the
must
problem,
be
man.
kidding me.
Isn't it?
We need results.
We need more. What do you mean you're only posting 10 times a day? More. 20 times a day. Yeah, it's nuts, dude.
Lower quality.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think about it a lot. I think about it a lot because, like you say, it can speed everything up. Like it can.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the quality's gone and it just doesn't feel like a personal thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess there's lots of instances where it doesn't matter if it's personal, and maybe that's the thing that's where it can be used. I was thinking, I obviously used to work in graphic design, and if you do that, and if you're junior, anyone who's listening who does that kind of stuff, you'd spend a lot of time like image retouching.
Yeah.
And if you've done it, you're like, like it's like you're getting rid of like dust specks on a lens from a product shot.
Yeah.
Like I've spent honestly months of my life just removing tiny little details, zooming in, and that is now like I've spent so long doing it, and it's now redundant. Like you can just ask the software to do it for you. Yeah. And I'm not saying that like I would have loved to have not spent all that time retouching, getting rid of dust, removing tiny bits of stuff off, for instance, like a death grip. How long I've spent removing all of the little specks, and how long other people have spent, and now you can just do it. I
was thinking too about it the other day. So a while ago I had a photographer do some photos of one of my old bikes, and he put like this beautiful night sky behind it, and this is going back probably 3 years. So at that point you're like, whoa, that's clever, man, how have you done that? And he's like, oh yeah, Photoshop, and I did this and I did that, and which is amazing, like it's really cool, but it's taken away that like, well, what about traveling to go and get that shot?
Yeah, it's not it. Yeah,
crazy.
It's not it, and yeah, totally. Like,
there's a lot in that, and I don't know what it is, but when you see it, you're like, something's off. It's not it. It's fake. And I don't know what it is. It's like our brains can still, I feel like, maybe not all the time, because some of them are really good, but I think even with that one, you could be like, yeah, that wasn't there. That wasn't under a night sky. The lighting's a tiny bit off or something. But I guess, if you're doing a bike shoot, is a prime example, isn't it? You could be like, well, where do you want the bike shot?
100%.
Mount Etna. Okay, well, I could go there, or
100%.
Or I can just stick it there.
Yeah, and back to that death grip of me spending all that time taking dust out, like, I could view it as like a waste of time, but also it's not. It's like, now you learn from it, and then the next photo you take, you make sure that you don't take it out the back. Or, there's like things that you learn from the process of doing long, monotonous crap stuff. You can't just enjoy the cream on everything. It has to be like shit stuff.
Do you use it for anything then, out of interest, like AI stuff?
I don't use one bit.
No,
I don't use one bit, and it's probably just I'm so resistant to new stuff. It's like painful, honestly. It's held me back in life so much because I was late to Facebook, late to Instagram. I just think I just hope stuff's going to go away. I guess I just like stuff being the same. Yeah. So I'm very, very resistant, but
I'd love to hear from our listeners, viewers. How do you use AI? Do you use AI? Are you against AI? It's an interesting topic, man.
It is.
Because it's obviously going that way.
I just went on a shoot with Rue, actually. You said Mount Etna, and he's out there, and he was editing as we go to try and reduce his workload when he got home, and he wouldn't use generative AI on his shots, and I think that's why he's the boss. That's why he's...
Because it's actually it.
Yeah. That's why when you think of mountain bike photography, his name comes up, Rue Fowler. It's because he's the real deal, and he's actually...
Where's the line, though, do you think, with that, as far as... So he won't use regenerative... Do you call it regenerative? Sorry. So where's the line with that, and maybe add in text or font or a... what would you call it? Like if you added flames, like is that... Should you light a fire to get the flame effect, or should you use AI? Like, where's the line?
I understand what you mean, yeah.
And I guess it's down to the creative, the filmer. It's like, where is their line?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is a grayscale. I think just what I thought was cool about it was that he was, in a vacuum, he's strict about it. So no one has to see. It's just for him. Yeah. And that's what makes him really good. Yeah. And that's what makes someone, like just, he's got his rules, and he's not going to make the sky so blue. Yeah. He's not going to make it look like some sort of psychedelic.
I also just remembered another conversation I had with someone who's got a very big company. It's actually my partner's boss. massive company, and they're leaning very much into AI and using it for their website and for various things that they do. And I was talking to him about it, and I guess there'd be a lot of people who maybe are a little bit naive to what it is and how it works, probably worried for the job. Like if they're a designer, they're going to be like, shit, like they could use this AI tool to then just make all the stuff that they make. But his opinion was really good, because it was like, yeah, we should use it to speed up certain processes, but there's always going to have to be a human to double check,
to moderate.
And also it's gnarly if we just lean on it and just think, oh, AI knows.
Yeah.
Because then we just get all sorts of ideas. It could say anything. And I've been guilty of that. I've typed certain things into it, like a question you've got, maybe it's about history or whatever, and it's just give you this answer and you're like, oh, that must be right. The process of learning to understand and to whatever. And I think even with this podcast, we do use it. Like we use it for editing a little bit, right?
Yeah, true.
So, and it's similar to you with doing the Death Grip thing. I used to sit and cut every single episode for hours and hours and hours. And now we're blessed you can press a button, but you couldn't press a button and it's a completed, finished process. It still needs to be checked by a human. It still needs to be changed. It still needs to be moved around a little bit. Maybe it's got a little bit of it wrong. It's cut to you before. And do you know what I mean? There's still lots of that. But I think it's something that you should just use to help you rather than to just completely manage your workload or your process or your creative outlet or whatever it is. Because, I don't know, man. What do you become if you're just typing things into an AI tool? You're not creative.
No.
You have ideas, but you're not making them. Like you.
Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? Because it's got all the information. It has all the information. So if you just said, oh, like let's, for instance, with a guest, you just type in the name and you just say, I want a series of podcast questions for the guest. But like, okay, but if you say you're guilty, but then you always add something because you have.
Definitely. You still have to check it.
Yeah.
It's just.
And it's like, in reality, it has more information than you. You've got years and years of biking and loving bikes and whatever.
And that's the thing, because it could spit you out all those questions. Sorry to interrupt you. But then you still have to go, well, that's wrong, or that won't fit because that's not what we talk about, or you couldn't just rely on it.
No, it has to be something from your perspective, not like just data. I don't even know what it get. To me, it's a crazy question because it gets to the point where it's like, it actually, as weird as it sounds, it gets to like the God question, because it gets to like, why is the sunset beautiful? If I think about it, whoa, this is a podcasty podcast. But
that magic mind's kicking in.
If AI has all the information on the web at the moment in the world, like surely it can come up with a better answer than my crappy brain that's banged into the ground loads of times.
Yeah.
But it can't. I still have a view. I'll still see something produced by it and I'll be like, nah.
Yeah.
Nah, it sucks. I'm bored already.
Yeah.
Give me a spelling mistake, man. Woo!
Chris Williamson said on a podcast recently, he did like a round table with a few of his mates, and I love what one of them said. So I'm really guilty of, I listen to a lot of podcasts and it'll be an expert on whatever it is, let's just say philosophy, whatever.
Yeah.
So you kind of jump in at a high level, so you never understand the root of it.
Yeah. You haven't got the base. Yeah.
Exactly. So he would basically get it to, you could almost take ChatGPT on like a journey of learning with you. So you'd be like, right, explain the base, the roots of Nietzsche, whatever, philosopher. So it'll give you like the bare essentials of like what you need then to start building on your knowledge.
Oh, mate.
I think that's fascinating. I'm like, that's actually pretty cool, because, I listen to so much stuff, but you're like too ahead of yourself. So you don't understand
100%.
The ways.
I think that is the coolest. That is the best. Right. This is going to sound like a ridiculous stretch, right? But bike parks and people nailing themselves.
Yeah.
Is an amazing example of something that I would say is like, you're like turbocharged into a level above. Yeah. And like, I think it's the same with everything in the world now. You watch a TikTok and you think you understand immunology or space travel.
Or even baking bread.
Yeah.
It can be like the most basic.
So if you see people having like big crashes at bike parks and they're like moving on to like the trails of a difficulty that is beyond there, like I can honestly say I never really did that. It was a real slow cook for me, biking.
Yeah.
Because you had to build each one of the features, and you gradually just build up. You have massive crashes, no doubt, absolutely. But they were never two layers above my pay grade.
Yeah.
Whereas I think as soon as you're going like 2 layers above your pay grade, and you're like, yeah, well, I saw someone go off this drop, I can do it.
Yeah.
I didn't even get to see drops that I couldn't do. I had to
you had to build it.
Build it, yeah. So I think like
yeah.
And when you compare the two things, like I noticed it the other day. I went out and I was like a bit scared. I go to bike parks, I feel a bit uncomfortable sometimes. I sit down and watch, and I'm like, wow. I just don't know if I'm not really into this sort of watching people.
Okay.
It sounds ridiculous. I've been to Rampage many times, and that's the most horrific thing to watch.
Yeah, they're the best riders in the world, though.
Yeah, they're doing something that's just like, in theory, exactly on their level that they can achieve. Whereas when you're watching, the disparity between your skill level and what you're doing is what makes it scary. I'm like I even like, it's making me like.
It's true.
So yeah, I think you're quite right. I think like I guess humans want to be like, they want everything as quick as physically possible.
And that's the problem.
Everything. You want your coffee quick. You want your this quick.
You want the clip quick.
Yeah,
you want
all
all
of your content quick. You want your...
Yeah.
You even want to go to bed quick.
You even
Sip
want to go to bed. Yeah, exactly, yeah. Sleep tonic, done.
You can't even be bothered to read a bedtime story. You just sleep tonic, see ya. Wake up again, right, we're in. Content, AI. Okay. Hey man, what an episode that was. You did amazing in it.
And so did you.
You shone like a star.
You shone like a moon.
Can we also put something up here that you can click on for the next episode?
How about we put a subscribe up there in the middle?
Yeah, I love
We're going to put a video we think that our lovely companionship will love on your face.
On my face?
Yeah. And
so
on
you can't see me now?
Gone. And on my face, another video that we think people will love. And thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Please hit like and subscribe. You guys are the best.
Peace and love.